Hi, I'm going to demonstrate scenarios. So the first thing we're going to say, you want to get a car loan, and they tell you on TV this is $20,000 at 1.9% for 3 years, but you don't have a perfect score, nor do you want the base car, which is $20,000. So we're going to do different scenarios if you decided to get a loan for a vehicle, a little bit more expensive. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to name the sales that we want. So we're going to highlight the whole thing that we want. This is the original. We're going to say create from selection, and we're going to name the from the left column. So each one of the cells now has a name. Okay, and we're going to create a scenario that's going to look similar to this. This is to have an idea of what the whole thing is going to look like. So the interest rate is how much we're paying is interest rate. The monthly interest is the interest rate divided by 12, and the month is how many years times 12. The monthly payment, just like we have done before, we use the payment formula, and the total will be add the information, the monthly payment times the years. So there we are. So we're gonna create scenarios. To do that, you go to data, what if, scenario manager, and you're gonna create the first scenario. The first scenario, because you don't have perfect credit and you want a car that costs about $30,000, so we'll call it $30,000 at 10% for 5 years, and we're gonna say changing cells because we already named the cells. We can use the names and it will be shown to the left, and I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. So the cells that we want is the loan. Press the control key to choose cells one at a time because we don't want everything. We just want the cells that are important to us. So we set the loan amount, the interest rate per year, and how many years we want. Okay, and here you can leave it blank or you can make a comment. This is $30,000, 30K, interest rate of 10% for 5 years, and say OK. Here it will tell you, now you put the information. This is the cell loan amount, which is this one, and then the interest rate, which is this one, and the years, which is this one. If you do not choose to name it before you do this, it'll give you a name of B3, B4, and B6. So if you name it before, you'll have this information right here on the left hand side. So here we wanted to do the 30,000, 1, 2, 3, and the interest rate at 10%. Is that correct? Nope, that's correct, 0.1. And the years, we want 5 years, and we're gonna add the first one. And because we want to do, if we only adding one, you say okay. Because we want to add 4 scenarios at one time, we just say add. And then the next scenario is 30K at 16% for 6 years. And again, you can specify that information and spell it out down here. I'm not going to waste that time. Changing cells is the same ones that we're going to use as before. So we'll say OK. So we want 30 at, we want 0.16, and this is not going to be 3 years, it's going to be 6. And we're going to add the next one, which is going to be 30, and the cells 30K at 20% for 7 years, and you can spell all that stuff. Now we're going to do this for 30 at 0.2, and this is going to be 7 years, and we're going to add the last one, which is going to be 20,000. And if the sales rep told you if you buy the car for $25,000 for 5 years, he'll give you a 10% interest rate. Great. And the sales, same sales highlighted. Okay, 25, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 10% but you had to decrease it to 5 years. And that was the last one. We were going to do 4 scenarios only, so we'll say okay. And I did not spell the whole thing out, so let's do that again. So I'm going to edit, and I'm going to change the name 25k at 10% for 5 years. Say okay. Okay. And now we're going to do a summary. That's what we want. So here we're going to say we want a summary of the scenario and the resulting sales. What do we want to show? So we want to show this too, the information out of the monthly payment, how much more we're going to pay per month, and the total amount that was paid throughout the life of the loan. So we'll say okay, and this will give you a brand new tab called Scenario Summary. It will give you the original one and the 4 new scenarios. It'll give you the names that you put on top of the scenario. As you can tell, I'm not perfect. I put it messed up here. It's not similar to the other ones. Then you'll enter the information that you enter by hand, and on the bottom in red it'll give you the information that you wanted. If you notice, they're all red, and if you want to fix that, what you have to do is on your scenarios, as you can remember, we had to make the number negative. So if we want to have this information, we say edit, and instead of having 25,000, we say negative 25,000. Say show summary 2427. Okay, as you can tell, if we make the loan amount a negative number, like it was discussed in a previous chapter, it will give you the monthly payment plus your total amount of the loan in a positive value. Hope you learned something. Thanks.